Hey, Josh, it's John. Hope you're having a good day.
Same to
Um,
you.
Thank you. I'm not sure if you were directly asked this after the game, but what's your reaction to breaking Jim Kelly's single season touchdown record?
Like I said, to be mentioned in the same breath as Jim Kelly, it's obviously a huge honor. As you know, I'll say this over and over again, but it's not the reason why I played the game. I'm just glad I was able to give my team a chance to win a football game, get us to 12-3, keep things rolling, and as good as those singular records are, I guess that means we're rolling as a team, and it takes all 11 guys on the field for stuff like that to happen.
I know you've been asked weekly all the time about Stefon Diggs. Obviously, he just took the AFC Offensive Player of the Week honor. I was just wondering, is there ever a moment where you still are seeing things that surprise you in regards to what he's able to do on the field?
I don't think so anymore. I've seen him for the last 4 or 5 months, just the way that he operates, how hard he works, how hard he practices, the way that he communicates with me, and the juice and energy that he brings. And it's no surprise for what he does on the field. He's built different, and I'm just glad we got him on our team.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
Hey, Josh, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Awesome. Why do you think hitting on big plays has become so effective in the second half of the season?
I think just the opportunities that have presented themselves, we've been able to take advantage of them. Especially when teams start to go the soft zone, and we're able to kind of dink and dunk and take some underneath stuff. And, those guys get paid to defend things, and they get anxious and antsy over there too. They want to jump routes, and they want to cause a play for their team. And that's typically when we've been able to get them, when a corner kind of bites on the underneath stuff, and our guys are doing a good job of continuing their routes and catching the ball when the ball gets thrown to them. And that's really all it is.
What have you seen on film from the Miami Dolphins defense?
They've been playing extremely well. They force a lot of turnovers. Their defensive line has been getting after the quarterback pretty well. Players in the back end are really good players. So they're going to play a lot of man-to-man. That's what we know. That's what they've been. And then we'll adjust anything else that they throw at us. But it's a team that, they can strike fast. They can get you. So you got to be on top of everything and play very, very disciplined football.
Well, thank you and Happy New Year.
Thank you as well.
Dr. Josh, good afternoon. Mookie Arkansas for Sports 1080. How's it going?
It's good, Mook. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. When you was 19, sitting in your dorm room at Ridley College, man, did you ever envision this drastic success early in your career?
I'd be lying if I said no. As much as I want to say no, this is exactly the thoughts and dreams that I had as a kid, and even going to Ridley College. Like, I always envisioned myself in a position to be playing at a very high level in the NFL, and those are the standards that I've always held myself to, and something that motivated me and drove me. And I know the job's not done yet, and honestly, the job will never be done. But we got to continue to find ways to go out there and try to win football games, especially as we're ending the season here this next week, and got to carry momentum off into the playoffs and continue, like I said, trying to find ways to win games.
Absolutely, Josh. It's New Year's coming up, and you don't supposed to give out your wish, but what are some things that you're hopeful for coming into 2021?
Well, just playing until February and securing a world championship, and that's obviously everybody's goal that's going in the playoffs, and there's still some teams trying to make it, but our main goal is to give ourselves a chance, and that was taken care of when we won the East. Now we got a chance, and we got to go put our best foot forward, but it starts with Miami.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, Josh, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Hey, Josh, talking to Brian yesterday, heard about the importance of continuity and building chemistry over his 3 seasons with the Bills. I'm curious, from your perspective, what are some things that happened between you and Coach Dable in year 3 that maybe weren't happening in year 1 or even last year?
Well, I mean, it's little things, and it's funny that you mentioned that. Even just walk through. We just got done with the walk through, and the way that he's able to say a play and I'm able to finish it and relay it to the team. Where in my first year, I had to wear an earpiece and he had to repeat it 3 or 4 different times for me to get it. So, just the familiarity with, the system that we have, the verbiage that we've been using for the last 3 years, the relationship that has continued to grow and evolve the last 3 years that we have on and off the field. It's a special bond. And, I'm super thankful that he's been my offensive coordinator for the last 3 years. And, he's one of the good ones in the league, and if not the best one in the league. So I just want to go out there and execute every play call that he plays. And, if there's a look that I don't see that's right, he trusts me that I can make the right decision and go with my gut and try to find a good way to put our team in a good situation.
That's a nice segue, actually, because he mentioned, continuity and chemistry with his coaching staff as well, that they're able to sit down in meetings and say, hey, remember when we did X, Y, Z on third down a couple of years ago, why don't we try that again? It sounds like you guys have a similar type of relationship that you can go back and draw on past experiences and say, hey, this worked way back in, let's try it again.
Yeah. And I think it's just the way that things evolve. Like, we just have the concepts that we like and we know that our guys are good at. He knows the concepts that I like, concepts that I'm good at. If we want to try something else, it's something that we can practice. And, he's got the full faith in me to tell him if I don't like a play, and to be able to tell your offensive coordinator, let's not run this play, and him to be able to be open to that message and not run the play. Not many guys in the league are like that. Sometimes it's their way or the highway, but for him, he doesn't want to put anybody in a bad situation or make them feel uncomfortable in the field because, usually it doesn't result in good results.
All right. Thank you, Josh.
Yep. So.
Hey, Josh. Obviously, not the news you probably wanted this week as a team with Cole Beasley dealing with an injury. I'm curious, from your perspective, we know how close you two are when he means the offense. What do you guys lose if he's not out there? And what kind of faith do you have in guys behind him to step up?
Yeah, I mean, well, when he's not out there, you lose the guy that's just constantly open, the guy that can find windows, a guy that's super smart, understands defenses, and kind of sees it like the quarterback. Obviously, we've got certain concepts we call just for him because he's so good at them, and he can get in and out of cuts so quickly, and he's extremely hard to defend. So, I know Cole's going to do everything in his power to be out there, and if it's not this week, it'll be next week, and he's chomping at the bit already, so he's going to attack the next week and a half hard, or next week hard, and do whatever he can to get back on the field.
I noticed you wore a Built T-shirt. I think it was before the last game. Josh Norman is actually running a pretty cool campaign right now for local businesses. I mean, we've talked about Josh before, but I mean, how cool is it that, so many people are kind of rallying to kind of support, some businesses that are struggling right now? I
mean, it's awesome. That's Buffalo for you. And it's unfortunate, some of the things that we're going through right now in our society with COVID and restaurants and businesses kind of being forced to shut down. So hopefully, every penny helps, and just try to find ways to donate in the right ways and make sure that every penny is going to, the right areas where they're needed.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Micah Hyde, after the game on Monday, said, I got a front row seat. He said, I got a free ticket to watch Josh and Steph play. Man, it's impressive to see them. It's like they're playing Madden out there. I know you're a gamer. Can you appreciate the reference there? Or do you sort of feel like, yeah, we're just having a lot of fun out there?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the reference for sure. That's kind of how I learned football, was playing Madden as a kid, and all the rules and penalties. And so that's, it's when we're out there, we're having a really good time. And it's just, I think everybody in the offense, especially when things are rolling. But again, I love what I do. I love playing the game of football. I'm always going to have fun doing it. And obviously there's times where I get down on myself for not, whether it be not making the right decision or making the right throw. But it's the game that we get to play, and something that I've loved ever since I was a kid. So it's fun.
I know you guys aren't always paying attention to what's being said outside, but I was asking Brian Daboll yesterday about Steph's intelligence and just sort of his feel for the game. And I'm just curious from your perspective, what you've seen from him in that regard, because obviously we know the physical talent, the hands, everything, but like the intelligence part seems like maybe that gets overlooked.
Yeah, and that's one thing I noticed when I first talked to him. I mean, he's a really smart guy, and you see that on the field, but you see that in just how he holds himself, how accountable he is to himself, his self-knowledge too. I think as a leader, that the most important thing is self-knowledge and knowing who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, it's going to be tough to be in front of other men and tell them how to do things. But he knows exactly who he is. He's never changed since he got here. He's a guy that's on the field. He sees certain things. He watches a ton of film to try to pick up on things that the corners do. And, it's obviously paid dividends for him. And I'm glad it has.
Thanks, Josh.
Hi, Josh. Matt Fairburn here. Curious when you look back, I know you evaluate yourself probably as much as anybody. And when you look back at that 2-game stretch you guys had against the Titans and the Chiefs, what did you learn? What have you learned about yourself? And what do you think this team kind of learned about itself? Because since then, it's kind of been smooth sailing.
Yeah. I mean, as far as myself, there was times in those games where I was trying to force too many things downfield, and there was obviously opportunity underneath with some of our, check down routes and obviously our guys underneath. So it just reiterated the fact that just take what the defense gives you, and when big plays present themselves, that's when you have to execute. So, and that's really what I learned from those 2 weeks. And as bad as those 2 weeks felt, we understood who we played, and those two teams that were in the AFC Championship last year, and it forced us to open our eyes and kind of work on some different things and realize some different things. And we've been, working hard ever since, and we got to keep things rolling.
Brian Flores said today he used to coach with Coach Daboll, and he said when he watches you play, it's almost like seeing Brian Daboll play like through you. What do you think about that idea, I guess?
Well, I mean, that's, as a quarterback, you're an extension of the offensive coordinator out there. So that's obviously a huge compliment, because if I'm playing the game how Dave sees it, I think we're doing things the right way. But again, there's things that I need to clean up and work on, and whatever Dave's calls, I got to go out there and execute. And it's my job to get us out of bad looks, and it's not my job to get us into great looks every time, but it's to limit the bad ones. So it's a cool situation. Like I said, my relationship with Dave's, and I think the off the field stuff has definitely helped that out. So that's a great compliment in my opinion.
Thank you, Josh.
All right, Josh, that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Yep. Thank you.